like to start the session with asking you all a simple question. Do you all know how to breathe? Seems like a silly question, right? Now let me rephrase that. Do you all know how to breathe with awareness? Take a few inhale and exhale. I'm sure each of you will have a different experience. All right? Now as you take your inhale and exhale, just notice, is it your belly that moves up and down? As you take your inhale again, maybe your chest moves up and down. And for some of you, it could just be a nasal activity to survive. So let's start with a simple exercise. I request everyone in the audience to please place their hands below their chest, right here on the side of the ribs. Maybe your position also will get better now, right? Now from here, take a deep inhale, and without trying to fill your belly in with air, let's first focus on opening the ribcage out and your fingers moving away from each other. So as you exhale, imagine blowing off a few candles in front of you, and your fingers moving towards each other and the navel drawing in towards the spine. Let's try this one more time. Take a deep inhale, and you feel your fingers moving away from each other. This is a new experience for some, maybe. And as you exhale, draw your navel in towards your spine, and you'll feel your fingers moving towards each other rather than your belly moving in and out. So what you just practiced is called diaphragmatic or abdominal breathing. It's in fact the basis for many relaxation and meditation techniques. It helps to reduce your stress levels. It helps to, when you're anxious, this is a practice that you could do even with your blood pressure. It has so many benefits. This could have been your first time that you connected with yourself with a simple breathing exercise that you thought was just to survive. Life for most of us from 2020 was one of the longest moments of pause. But how did we use that pause? Did we feel like our most frustrated versions when we were safe at home? And then the minute we were free, have we just fast-forwarded our lives trying to achieve all targets at once? There are a few observations that I've made on social media and with the people that I've interacted with. The first 3 months of lockdown, the first 3 months where we were at home, all of us, especially on social media, tried to showcase our best versions, tried to send out a positive message to everyone, came out of balconies, applauded for all the frontline workers. There was just so much positivity in the air, right? Now, what happened 6 months later? What happened 9 months later? What happened 1.5 years later? The same social media was now used to mock at that anxiety that had set in. There was a fear, a frustration that was running in all our minds. Life was at a standstill. We didn't know of what was happening. We tried to set our routines. We tried to get back to the same lifestyle, but unfortunately failed. And sometimes we were just satisfied doing nothing at all at home. One thing that changed for many of us again that we were not aware of was our sleeping patterns. Many of us had become nocturnals. Clearly, by the end of 2021, we were a different version of ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally. Now, being this different version of ourselves, we still are trying to make those commitments to ourselves, those promises to ourselves. How guilty or how bad do you feel when you are not able to live up to those commitments? And how many of you feel that you are in this vicious cycle of pause and reset? I am going to do this, but I failed, so I'm going to start again on the Monday. And now, November, December for most of us is like the weekend of the year. So we keep saying, we're waiting for January to start. So this is that vicious cycle of pause and reset. Maybe this is because we keep testing and challenging our willpower and not trying to develop a skill set which is long-lasting. Think about it. COVID has taught us a lot of things. First thing is, the game of life keeps going on. All of us have had personal losses. All of us know of people who are born into this universe, new souls coming up, but whatever happens, the game of life continues. The second thing, there is nothing called a perfect time for me or you. You will never be able to predict post-2020 that tomorrow will be a good time, because you never know. And the third and the most important thing for all of us, the definition of the term healthy for you cannot be defined by anyone else but you. I was tested positive along with my husband on May 31st, 2020. And I was asymptomatic. He had the symptoms, loss of taste, loss of smell. 2020 was the time the assumptions about COVID was at its peak. Everyone were COVID experts, but everyone was as clueless. So the minute you're tested positive, you have all the advice coming up. This is how you should be doing. This is what you should be taking. This is my experience. It was chaotic. I was advised to take this one tablet, which had a dosage of 400 mg. So I actually felt like there was nothing wrong with me, just with the fact that I did all the work extra at home, all the cleaning by myself because I was isolated, right? So everything just became more chaotic. But with this tablet, which was 400 mg, the prescription said I had to take 8 tablets of this on the first day and then continue with 4 tablets every day for the next 6 days. So to do the quick math, this was 12,800 mg of this particular drug in my body in 1 week. For someone who has been very conscious in her life about her decisions of what is going into her body with regard to the food, with regard to the exercise, whatever it's not about being on a diet, being conscious about my decisions, this was something new to my body. I read and it was announced that this drug was no longer required to cure COVID. So what was that 12,800 mg doing in me? No clue. Because of the unavailability of an alternative. Now, my experience while taking this, I took this for 4 days. I had big cysts on my face. I felt drowsy. I had diarrhea. I just didn't know what was going on. So this 14 days of isolation for me was a state of complete awareness. I realized that if every advice I was going to take from everyone, if I was going to just apply it on myself and just do it blindly, I'm just going to harm myself further. So I started to get and balance my emotional state, which was very important. The decisions you make, especially a COVID situation, you have to be balanced. So I started with meditation practices, breathing practices that helped, and also to increase my immunity in the small ways that, even our parents would know. These conscious lifestyle decisions during my isolation helped me recover much better as compared to the experience of people around me. So coming to the conscious lifestyle decisions, I know that all of us take these decisions in haste and think that this could be our start to a healthy lifestyle, to start a healthy routine in life. How many of you have a cheat day? Let's be frank. Every day is a cheat day. Wow. How many of you have a cheat day? With a raise of hands, right? So you completely enjoy this cheat day. You start from breakfast till dinner and you're enjoying every meal possible because somewhere behind your head you're telling yourself, Monday to Saturday, anyway, I'm in my diet now. I know you're just nodding your head. I know you can connect to me well. So when you do this, what you're doing to yourself, again, you start that Monday with so much of regret of this entire day that you have enjoyed. Now, isn't that such a negative approach? That you're already cheating yourself and you're convincing yourself that that one day I did it, now let me take all the regret measures. Instead, have you ever thought, why not I just treat myself in the small amounts? Actually, having that small bite of brownie is not going to make a difference to you. You know that. But you will regret it if you do it on a Monday. But on a Sunday, it feels good to you. Right? Another thing I've seen as a conscious lifestyle decision is when you go to your workout space or you go to your gyms. This I've seen personally with a lot of my clients as well. You drag yourself there, you may not like the monotony. You may not even like the fact of why you're doing this because you have no connection with that exercise you do. But you go in there, you take your selfies, you take your reels, you tell everyone about the body positivity, everything happens, right? But then what happens at the end of the month? You're already looking at a new place where you can find a new subscription because at the end of it, you want to see results. You don't see the results. And it's not because of the workspace, it's not because of your trainer, it's because you don't connect with the exercise that you're doing. That's another thing to think about. A third thing which is very important, especially to talk about in today's time. You enter your gym space with all targets to be achieved, all right? And I've seen this especially with people who are lifting weights. Without realizing, you're huffing and puffing and grunting while doing all your workouts because you have this target to achieve. And I've seen trainers there to go and say, "Arey, this is all you can lift for today. Look at her or look at him. They can lift so much more." So somewhere in your subconscious, your ego is hit and you're like, I'm going to prove myself that I'm going to do this. Now, my question is, when it comes to your own health, is this the kind of challenge you want to put to yourself? Is this the way fitness should be perceived? This is not the way you want to put your life at risk, right? So thinking about this or about these conscious decisions, my point is, if you don't come into a complete state of awareness with how your surroundings are, with how you feel when you work out, there's definitely not going to be a point where you will realize that this has harmed you. So this was me in 2018, and this was me when I was 47 kgs. And this is me in 2021, and I'm 52 kgs now. I proudly say it. You know that maybe there a few inches are more, and here I've definitely toned down. 4 years back, I was in a phase of life where I had to be busy. I had to do my shoots, I had to go for my rehearsals, I had to, take my classes. 6 hours of physical activity was a must. The minute I just sat down and relaxed with family or just had a social life, I felt I was unproductive. So just being on the go was being physically fit. And my physical form was so important then that if I didn't work out one day, there was one kind of a restlessness that got in. And I said, this is what I had to do continuously. That's when I started thinking. Now, in 2021, when I started to slow down my life, there are things that actually got into what I became aware of. There's a big difference between health and well being, right? For someone who's maybe having his broad shoulders, six pack, who may look like your perfect macho man, but he may not be feeling well. When I say feeling well, he may be going back home and having maybe an anxiety or a depression issue. What is his motive when he's working out? Maybe he wants to get that frustration out. The same way, if someone with a special ability or with someone who may not look perfectly fit, but because of their lifestyle interventions, may be feeling fine. That's why we have so many of our people from Olympics who are able to score so well, right? It's not because they have like a six-pack or whatever it is, but it's because of them feeling well about themselves. So this is very, very important. When you think about fitness, please do not only look at muscle endurance and strength. Fitness has to embrace the concept of balance and awareness. You need to be aware of your surroundings, of your motives, and your feelings when you work out. When you work out, if you're doing it with love, when you're doing it with people around you, and not going back on a weighing scale, you know that's your right motive. You will not go back there to say, "Arey, it's still on this kg, how many kgs will I lose?" That should not be your motive. So that's what will help. As a fitness coach, I've had a lot of people come to me and talk first about, Ragini, I have 5 kgs to lose because I have a wedding coming up. I have this to do because I have this, already with set targets. So as a coach, I always tell them, please do not come with me with targets, because the minute you put yourself into rigid, weirdly, tightly controlled situations and try to be happy in that situation, you really think your life will continue that way? Obviously not. You want to get back to a routine. So as a coach, it's very important for us to make them understand that don't build yourself in an environment that you're not comfortable with. Motivate them to be healthy in their real life conditions. And this happens when you are able to understand and acknowledge your feelings when you're feeling low. Keeping my disciplined life, I kept trying to say, okay, I'm going to get back to this routine, get back. As I said, 6 months, I could do it. Post that, it was just not possible. But did that mean that I had the pause mentality and I said, I'm not going to do anything with regard to my health now, I'll wait for COVID to end? We never know when that's happening. So what I did was took my working and my eating habits and put that on a dial. So when I say a dial 10 for me was to include all my schedules on time, wake up at 6:30, work out till 8:30, every day, prep for my meals, take care of my husband's diet. It was such a routine, rigid life. But then I knew this is not going to happen on a continuous basis if I'm just locked up at home. So I turned down the dial to about 4 or 5. What I did was worked out maybe just thrice in a week. Whenever I felt like, if I wanted to, I would involve in movement that made me happy. I also started to cook my own meals with family. So there you build a connection with food. Another thing I also did was when I did feel like, indulging in my cravings, I would do it. I would never say, no, I should not eat it because I'm at home. Have it, but just maybe 2 bites. And still appreciate the fact that I could stop with 2. And the fourth thing, which was so important and helped me so much, was to realize, and I did a research about gut health and fitness, because any decision you make in life, there's always this gut feeling behind you. There's somewhere telling you that inner voice that you should or should not be doing something. And that is your gut speaking to you. So I started to research more about how this will help in fitness, and that also helped me during this whole COVID. Now the question is, how did I feel when I took these decisions? Did that mean that by 2021, I'm looking my fittest and this is my target? Maybe not. But when I took these small decisions, I was able to consistently follow them for the 2 years that I was at home. So that felt good rather than just pausing my life and just pushing away all my priorities. As a trainer's perspective, it's our duty to have a connection first with your client. Because I've seen in places you come and you just give them a board and you say, this is your workout for the day. But what if they have not slept well? What if they are emotionally imbalanced? Is it right for you to put that pressure on them? Is it right as a trainer to test their willpower and say, why are you not able to do this? So as a trainer as well, build a connection with them so you make them understand that you need to stay hydrated. You need to know how you are taking care of your stress levels. You need to also understand that you have to listen to your own gut. Whatever your trainer or your dietitian tells you, you need to stay active and hydrated. And when you start giving them these small tips on how to take this consistently, you are letting your client know that they are on a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. Even when it comes to a workout regime, choose something that they can connect with mind and body. As a personal experience again, Pilates did that to me. I've done my functional training fitness, I've done Zumba fitness trainings, I've been a dancer from the age of 4. Physical activity is not new to me. But when I started to practice Pilates, I realized that there was a mind and body connection. It brought me into a state of awareness with myself. My breathing technique improved, which I could apply to my dance. And also, I stopped looking at how I felt. It was not about, okay, does this jeans fit me or no? Does this top look tight or no? It goes much deeper. It's much beyond it. There was a connection with my inner self. So through exercise, I was able to grow physically, emotionally, and spiritually. When I say spiritually, it's because of the fact that today when my client and me do a routine together, or when I plan a Pilates choreography for my client, I don't say this is because you will have to lose kgs. I will just look at their posture and their physical strength, help them connect with themselves better, and they enjoy and get back. So that is when you will be able to stay consistent. There are a few things also when it comes to food. They're always asking, okay, as a dietitian, okay, give me a diet, what will I be able to follow? I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, all right? But as a holistic fitness enthusiast, I do not count my food. I do not believe in counting your food, because when you don't count it on a Sunday, on your cheat day, why will you count it from Monday to Saturday? How will you build that connection with food and enjoy and celebrate it? You will be able to do that when you are able to understand the difference between mindful eating and dieting. In mindful eating, you will trust your own instinct rather than listening to someone. It is your individual preference. When you come to mindful eating, you'll start thinking about your well-being, what food makes you happy and not, rather than just thinking about weight loss. You start accepting how you are rather than having a negative approach. Okay, I'm not supposed to look at that. Don't get this food in front of me. You will start building that relationship with food. You will also change your lifestyle. It will not be a quick fix to your problem. And you will start celebrating food. I think that's how food should be looked at. All of us have heard this phrase, listen to your gut instinct, or what does your gut feeling say? What is that? Your gut is actually your second brain. It's comprising of all the organs that start from your eating your food, processing the food, and expulsion of food. And all these organs have an inner lining of microbiomes and bacteria. And this good composition of the bacteria helps you to take these decisions. The minute you have your antibiotics, the minute you have your thing, you need to take your probiotics to make sure this good composition is right. That's when you'll be able to make your good decisions when it comes to eating rather than following a strict diet. Do not judge your progress based on your short-term goals or what you wish to achieve. We are all humans and perfection can never happen. When you decide to make a lifestyle change, please do not go with the all or nothing. You will just end up with nothing. Instead, learn the skill of staying healthy and happy amidst your real life conditions. So the next time you are reactive rather than responsive to your body, the next time you take a decision in haste with regard to your health, your happiness, and your priorities, take that pause, listen to your own gut, because no one knows you better than what you do. Thank you.